Hey guys, Roy Norrie here from Data Spinners, continuing with the document management app built over the Common Data Service for Apps. Today I'm doing a bit of post UAT work because there are aspects of this app I really don't like, and they just make it really just frustrating to work with. Now, one of the things that I don't like about it is that when you kind of create, like, let's say a dummy life area, you can't delete it at the moment, and it's not that difficult to put something like that in. I think there's aspects of the user interface that aren't perfect, so I am going to fix that. One thing to just make sure you do is make sure that you actually go into the right environment, because sometimes if you're in your sort of default environment, you'd be thinking, well, where on earth is that? Where on earth is your app? And of course, you just hit the drop down and away you go. Okay, so I'm just going to pause this and let this fire up. Okay, here it comes. Since the last video, I changed this because it wasn't really what I wanted. So the image I've changed up. So I think the first thing that I'd like to do is to give myself an opportunity to actually amend that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Insert, go to Icons. It's probably not going to look beautiful to begin with, and that is an aspect that can take an awful long time, to be honest. So I'm just going to pop a little icon up here, which will give us an opportunity to go to another screen. So that's just popped in a little settings screen, because what I'm going to do on that is give myself a chance to change the life areas. So what we need for that is just have a quick look at this here, and see if I can sort of beg, borrow and steal from this. And it's probably not a bad place to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. I don't think I have a life area at this point. Yeah, no, I don't have it. So I am going to do. It's going to jump into there. I'm going to change the name and rename. Okay, we go SCR life area, and what we're going to do is we're going to connect to that. So we're going to filter this, and it's actually life areas. Let's just see what happens when that goes on there. We don't want to do any filters on this, so we're just going to get rid of that text there, and it's just going to be straight life areas. So we should see the full list of them come up here. Brilliant. Looking at that, it doesn't have anything for that, so I'm going to delete that. And then just move across here, and really what I'm looking to do, I'm not looking to sort of drill through here, I'm just looking to give myself the ability to delete it. So I also don't want the refresh button, and it doesn't even refresh the right thing. I'm not interested in the up-down icon. That is kind of handy. So what I'm going to do, I'll see about that. I'll put a false statement on this, though, false. So maybe I'll give myself the ability. I don't think I will in reality. So that is that. So I think what would be good on this would be for us to just make this a little bit smaller. And what we can do is we can insert a form here, and we'll make it an edit form, and we will get the data from the life areas. Pop that in there, and we only need this life area, and that. Yeah, but I don't think it doesn't seem to be sort of behaving itself at the moment. We'll have a look at that shortly. It may be that it's been set up as the wrong type of form. So I think that is the one that I want. Brilliant. Okay, so I don't need that one there. I need this one. Good. And I think we need primary name, and I think my reflection on this is that we should always have done primary name. So it's just unfortunate that we didn't. I'm going to do, just so I know where I am with this, I think I might, maybe I'll just take it in a touch. There won't be much to it, and I think that I will, maybe I'll pop a little submit button in there, and insert a button, and yeah, I mean we can get away with doing this. Submit life. I'm beginning to regret this life area thing. It's a bit of an odd way of doing it, but anyway, life area doesn't seem to want to play ball. Submit life area. Good. Right, now why are we doing this? What we actually want to do is on this plus button, what we want to do is on select new form life. Now actually we haven't given this form a name yet, so it's called form 1, so we'll hit the rename on that, FRM life area. Good. And that'll do, and go on to the plus button here and go form life, FRM life area, life interest, oh it's FRN, rename, that'll do. Okay, so we'll do FRM, there we are, life area, and that's okay, and so that will work nicely. One thing I would like is, we'll just check if this actually works. So I'm going to just do a nice little, quickly hit a save button here. Don't need to publish it. So we go publish, work on that. Okay, good. So if we hit the plus button, we get a life area. Go my new area. As I say, I think if I was to do this again, I would just use the primary name every time. So submit life area. Now, there's no on success for this, which does make life interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to do insert. In fact, I'm going to borrow it from another screen, this supplier screen here. I'm going to take a copy of that. The icon refresh, copy that, go back onto the life area, paste it in. Should be able to paste it in. Yeah, there it is. And when I paste it in, I want to refresh life areas. So let's see what's actually gone in there at this point in time. And nothing at all has gone in there. That's not very reassuring. And the reason that it doesn't do anything is that there is no on select property of this. So what we need to do is do on select submit form. Oh crumbs. Submit form FRM life area, and then what's good practice on this is to reset form. I'm going to make the assumption that it actually submits okay, which is probably a bad idea. Reset form life area, otherwise you'll end up probably with this text still showing. So, and then we will do refresh life areas. Okay, and that should mean that it'll all work very nicely. Fingers crossed. Let's have another go. My new area, wonderful. Bang. In it goes. Good. That's that's fine for me. I'm sure I can change a bit of the UI so that it kind of hides and shows, but I'm not really too fussed at this stage. What I would like to do though, I definitely don't need that search. It's never going to be big enough. So let's get ourselves a bit more real estate there. And let's see what it's upset about. Oh, it's upset about where this thing is. Great, that's fine. Drag this down a bit. And it's upset about something else, which is that. I think it's like a divider maybe. Yeah, rectangle. And we will delete that. And something else. Just shows you how many artifacts you get with some of these screens. That is good. And what I'd actually want to do now is I want to make sure I can actually delete them, because some of these are actually no use to me. So I am going to go onto here. I'm going to go insert icons. We'll do a trash thing. I'm going to go onto there. Now we probably have to be a little bit careful with these. Pop it up a bit. I'm going to assume on this, in this case, that we're just going to do a straight delete. We're not going to have a are you sure you wish to type thing. Yeah, well, we'll see. Okay. So in order to get this working, we need to tell it what happens, and on select it does nothing. That's what select parent means. So we're going to do actually, first thing I'm going to do is go onto this gallery and give it a better name. So we're going to call it rename GLRY life area. And we will then go onto here and on select remove from life areas. What we're going to remove, GLRY life area dot selected. Right, and that should do the trick. So let's give that a go. Onto there, onto this test life area, and click the go button. Brilliant. I like it. So go on to new area, get rid of that, hit the plus button, another one. And we will hit the submit life area button, in it goes, and then we can delete it. Brilliant. Okay, well I quite like that. In fact, what I don't like is the fact it's got suppliers written at the top. So we'll go suppliers life areas. Okay. That's okay for me. It's not, this is not about presentation in this case, because frankly it takes an awful lot longer to do great presentation from what I've seen. So that's fine. Good. So what we could do here is we could actually set a visible property to make it look a little bit nicer, but I don't think I will. And I also don't want to do, I could do like a means by which you edit the item as well, and I don't think I want to do that either. So that is good enough for me at the moment. Does this back button actually do anything? Yes, it does. So if we click it, it should get, well, we probably didn't get there via, when you're in the edit mode, sometimes the back button doesn't work depending on how you arrived at the particular place. So let's just get this into the middle. So you can see how it takes ages if you when you start getting really into it. That's fine. So moving back, let's get to the landing page. So we can go onto this cog here, which doesn't actually point anywhere. So we go navigate, SCR. I think we called it life area. So this cog, maybe there's better ways of doing this, but this is how I'm doing it. And then you always have to kind of do cover or whichever way suits you. And so at that point we can kind of go onto here and we can go on there. That's great. And now looking at that, we've just got the 3 areas. I'm going to go view suppliers. Now this is the bit that really I found really frustrating, to be honest. So I've got my 3 suppliers. I don't think I've got the opportunity to delete any of them at this point in time. So I could just throw in another delete icon. Why not? It's easy enough. So I will do insert icon. We'll do a trash. In fact, don't do it there. You need to be selected on this bit here. Then you go insert trash, and then we move across here. Up we go. It is dangerous having these ones where you don't actually there we are, where you don't give people an option, are you sure, etc, etc. So maybe we'll do it on this one. I think we will do it on this one. So let's just make that a bit smaller there. It doesn't matter too much. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pop a few bits and pieces in that will make this perform a little bit better. So I am going to do insert label, and pop that down there. We'll do a background on it. Background. We'll go fill, and we're going to go black. That'll do. Okay, and we'll do text, and we'll do it as "Are you sure? Wish to delete?" ? And then we'll do color because it's currently black, and then we'll go white, and then we will we'll go to the size, and let's just make it something like 40. Let's see, no, 30. I think 30 will work better. And then go on to the home, and we're going to center this. I think that'd be nice. And we are going to pop some little buttons in here. So we're going to go insert button. There we are. And now we could color these. I probably need to actually. On select, set GV. Are you sure? To false. Visible. Bit long-winded, but it's a global variable of is visible. Are you sure? And we'll make use of that later on. And all this thing is going to do is set the is visible, are you sure, to be true. True. Come on. And what we'll do is we'll group this shortly, and we will set the visible property on that. So on select, so we'll put some text in there. We'll go text to the button. We'll put a no, and we'll do a copy of that. It's just Control C, Control V, and pop that in there. And we'll go text, and I go yes. That's good enough for me, but of course the on select on this is set. Yeah, well, we will do that, but we will also do remove GLRY supplier dot selected. Think that will do the trick. So remove, that's it. Remove from suppliers. And this is what we're going to remove from the suppliers. Wonderful. So we are going to do that, and then what we're going to do is select all these 3 items, and we're going to go to the home, and then we're going to group them, and then we're going to group them like that, and then we are going to go to the visible, and we go GV, is visible, are you sure? Good. And what we'll find is that if we actually click this, it'll say, are you sure you want to delete? So what I'm now going to do, and I put no, no, that was good. Forgotten I'd done that correctly, so that's good. What I'm going to do is create a dummy supplier. I'm going to go into there. Good. Life area. Well, now actually this is another thing that I really didn't like about it. What I want is I want a choice of the life areas that I've got. So insert drop down. I'm sure there's better ways of doing this, but it's the way I'm going to do it. So insert controls, that drop down. Now, theoretically, if we're going in this route, then the life area must be the... Yeah, I think that what we can do is we can make it the default can be I have a bit of a think there. Okay, yes, I will just go for it. I am going to insert a drop down. I don't think that went inside that particular form. Just see. No, it definitely didn't. So let's just see what's happening there. So insert controls. Unlock to change properties. That is the daddy. So controls, drop down. That's better. So what we want to do is life areas dot. And what we want is, we don't want this primary name, although, as I say, if I was going to do it again, I would. This is that slightly peculiar. I think they may kind of sort themselves out. Dot. Nope. That's it. Yeah. Sometimes they take a little bit of time to sort of refresh themselves. Good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to be the drop down. So we're going to go onto there, default equals. Now I'm going to click on this thing here, drop down 3, rename, drop down life area. This would obviously get a bit strange if you had loads and loads of these, and I have the feeling that design-wise this probably isn't the best way of doing it, but I'm doing it anyway. So the default equals dd life area dot selected dot value. Okay, business. I'm actually going to set the display mode to be display mode. I'll do it as a view, but to be fair, you can just hide this now because it should just populate anyway. I just will be careful with this at the moment. There you go. In there's a supplier name. That's business. Wonderful. It goes onto the selected. That's okay. Create new supplier. Okay, that's good. So let's just check whether or not that actually does what we want it to do. There's a very, very good chance that this is a really bad way of doing this. So let's see how it actually performs. So I'm going to go back to the landing page. I'm going to go to view suppliers. Okay, I'm going to go home. Click on that. Now if we were going to create a new supplier, then theoretically it would have to be it would have to be the supplier that we, the type that we've already selected. So I'm thinking that this isn't the smartest way of doing this. In fact, this says business anyway. So that's because we haven't set a default for it. I think what we'll do is get rid of this item here and undo that, because I only wanted to get rid of this little bit here. Okay, should just get rid of that. Oh, of course, it's not happy with this because of that. So what we want to do is we want to we want to make it the one that was selected right at the outset. So it would be, yeah, DD life area landing. Okay, DD life area landing. Oh. Dot selected. Oh, didn't do that. Dot value. Good, so we're on to home, supplier name, and that is fine for me. Now if we hit the OK button, it does the submit, but it doesn't do a back, so I'll just do that, pop that in, and let's just see what the X does. That is a back button, good. So they're not far off now actually, so I'm going to hit the play button. Don't know if the back will actually work. Oh, it does work, that's nice. So we're going to go to home, we're going to go to contract, we're going to go to view suppliers. There aren't actually any in there at the moment. We're going to hit a plus button. It's the contract name, and actually you can't click on it at all, which is brilliant. And I'm going to go on to supplier name. Right, I'm going to call it, let's just say it's train provider. Okay, we'll go with that. We'll create my new supplier. Good. Now that's interesting actually, because that, I actually don't know why I did that, did the back button, but that was a very strange bit of behavior there, because we hit the plus button and then when it hit the back, it didn't actually take us, it didn't seem to take us back at all. So a little bit buggy that. I'm not too fussed, but let's see what happens if I try and delete it. Are you sure you wish to delete? Yes, I am sure I wish to delete. Oh, fantastic. Oh, I like that. Okay, good. Supplier name Chiltern, and I'll do that, and I'm going to hit the submit item on this. I don't know if that is very odd. So I'm going to kind of hard code the behavior, because I want this to, I think what might be happening is on success, yeah, what's happening here is that there's two backs going on. One is for it's saying go back, and then one is on success go back, so you can only have one. Okay, otherwise it'll all go a bit strange. Another one, and I'll hit the OK button. Good, and it just pops back one, and then I can hit that, and I can hit, are you sure you wish to delete? Now that is nice. And now if we go through to it, we get to this documents page, and we can create a new item, short narrative, ABCD, we can put the date of the document, which is that, then we can OK it. Okay. And then we tap or click. Oh, that's interesting. Tap or click to add a picture. Okay. This obviously only ever comes from. There's my Darth Vader one. It only ever comes from. Doesn't fire up your phone camera. So that's some interesting bits there. We go to open on that, and there's an opportunity to change the picture. So me and Darth go back a long way, and we will OK that. That is yeah, sorry, I was about to compliment myself there. That is good. And And what I am going to do is I am going to pop another delete thing in there, and I may beg, borrow and steal from the other one. So I'm just going to go over to here. I'm going to go back a few. Good. That's the page I want actually. So we'll do this actually. So is visible. Are you sure? Are you sure you wish to delete? We've picked up that. We're going to copy that. We're going to copy the group. We're going to go through here. We are going to paste that in. There we are. Are you sure you wish to delete? But the bit on the no is that's fine. I'm happy with that. And I am. So we're not going to remove it from that. We're going to remove it from. There's my documents. I'm trying to go from memory here actually. And GRY documents. That's good. And what we're going to do with that is we are going to throw in a little. Let's grab these three here. Move them across to the left. Not sure if this is a good idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. Move these. Move these across. Across to the left, and I'm going to insert icon. In fact, I'm going to borrow the one from the other page because it's got quite a few bits and pieces. Icon 8. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to move through to this page here, and I'm going to go on to here, and I'm going to paste it in, move this little bad boy across, and that will fire this little fella up. In theory, this should all work nicely in that. Now this, I don't know. Actually, there is an edit form option on this, which is quite nice. So let's see how that'll play out. So I think this might actually work. I'm actually going to move on to here. I'm going to put a no on that, and I'm going to put a delete on this. Are you sure you wish to delete? Now, in theory, this will actually work. Woohoo! That is good. So good, short narrative. I'm not going to get too fussed on that. I'm just going to do that, and I am just going to put something else. I'm going to go with this one here. Okay, good. Hit the OK button on that. Good. Good. Nice. Nice, I'm happy with that. So I think I'm now at the point where this is starting to look like the sort of thing I wanted it to look like. So let's add another one in. Notice supplier name goes in by default, that's good. We'll just go into there. In fact, I'll put another date for it. Let's put it on Friday the 1st. I'll go OK to that. Add a picture. So we're going to do that. Some mad picture. Yeah, that's another one of my little efforts. I'll OK that. Good. Picture goes in. Wonderful. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that the on visible property of this screen, on visible, refresh my documents, and then set GV comma false. That'll do. That's good, and that should do the trick. So I'm also going to do the same on this one here. Visible, I don't know. So that's apply on visible. Should work. Okay. So go on there, and we are going to go onto this. Good. So it's disappeared, which is what we wanted. Back, go onto there, because you might go on there and then you might just click on this thing here and that disappears. It may be the order in which we do this that changes things, but that's good. So now I think that's not far off. That is not far off now. So apologies for this being quite a long video, but I think this is now starting to look like a much tidier app. It's an app that I could consider using, apart from the fact that we only get 30 days to use a trial version of this. So, but more on that some other time. Yeah. So essentially, when you have a trial Common Data Service for Apps environment, apparently they last 30 days. So the clock is ticking on this app, and then presumably it will just all fall apart at some point. Okay, guys, thanks very much. I'm pretty happy with that. It's an app I'd probably actually use, and I think it's really neat. I love the way that the images work on this. I think it's really it's a very nice experience for you suppliers. In fact, I'm going to start. This is the whole point of this. Actually, I hated this bit. So you sure you wish to delete? I'm going to go yes on that, and I'm going to go yes on this, and yes on this, and I can now go through. Now, admittedly, it doesn't. To be fair, it doesn't. It wouldn't actually delete the underlying records, the documents that related to the suppliers, but I'm sure you could. We could actually code that in if we wanted to. Brilliant. Well, thanks very much, and see you again some other time.